When I saw those words, the cargo box in my hand suddenly hit the ground. The sound of plastic packaging hitting the ground echoed through the warehouse. Yet, I remained motionless, staring at the screen of my phone for a long time. Special talents have been activated. Your growth rate is far beyond that of ordinary people. You can get attribute boosts every day. Just a few words, and I thought I was having a hallucination. My name is Aiden Walker. In the past 22 years, my life has been incredibly ordinary. There are no wealthy families, no outstanding backgrounds, and nothing remarkable to boast about. After graduating from high school, I started living on my own. I work at a convenience store during the day, and do part-time deliveries at night. The tasks that we face every day are quite simple: making money, paying rent, and surviving. I have countless times fantasized about changing my fate. Won a large prize by buying lottery tickets. Met a person of high status. Get a chance to start over again. But when the real opportunity did arise, my first reaction was doubt. Because this doesn't seem real at all. Aiden, why do you still stand there? The voice of the convenience store owner, George, came from behind the scenes. I quickly regained my senses and arranged the scattered drinks back in order. I'm sorry, I got distracted just now. George gave me a look. Have I been too tired lately? It's okay. I smiled. I just didn't sleep well last night. George didn't continue to ask any more questions. He didn't know that, just now, something happened that changed the course of my life. When I returned to the rental house at night, I immediately closed the door behind me. I sat on the edge of the bed and opened my phone once more. That message still exists. I tried to delete it. There was no reaction at all. Tried to close it. There was no reaction at all. Just as I was about to give up, a transparent interface suddenly appeared before my eyes. Name: Aiden Walker. Physical condition: normal. Strength: ordinary. Speed: normal. Endurance: average. Mental state: normal. Growth attributes can be utilized. I stared at those words, my heart beating faster and faster. This thing cannot be explained at all, but it actually exists. I extended my hand to touch it, my fingertips brushing across the virtual image. In the next second, a new prompt appears. Properties can be freely allocated. The direction of improvement is determined by the user. I sat there in silence for a long time. If this is some kind of prank, it's actually quite realistic. If this is true, then what I have will be a completely different path in life. It takes time for ordinary people to grow up. It takes time to learn new skills. It takes time to exercise properly. Everyone is limited by time. But now, it seems that I have found a way to break through these limitations. I don't have the urge to become stronger right now. I immediately picked up a pen and paper and started to record all possible details. The source of this ability is unknown. The duration of this ability is unknown. The risks associated with this ability are unknown. The most important point: it must not be known by anyone. In this world, no one would willingly accept that an ordinary person suddenly gains extraordinary powers. Some people will be envious. Some people will feel afraid. Even some people might want to take it away from us. After completing the recording, I decided to use the first attribute improvement. I choose to strengthen the foundation of my body. The next moment, a warm sensation spread from deep within my body. There were no significant changes. There were no exaggerated changes in appearance. Just a few seconds later, I felt as though my body had undergone a slight adjustment. My breathing became much smoother. The speed of thinking becomes much clearer. Even the fatigue caused by long hours of work has been greatly reduced. I walked up to the mirror. The person in the mirror still looks ordinary, but I know that something has changed. The next morning, for the first time, I got out of bed without relying on the alarm clock to wake me. In the past, every day when I woke up, it felt like my body was empty inside. Today, as soon as I opened my eyes, I felt an unusually clear mental state. I opened that interface. New attribute improvements have been implemented. I looked at it, and for the first time, I truly believed it to be true. This is not an illusion. I truly grow every day. I'm not in a hurry to reach the limit of my strength, because I understand that truly strong people don't just possess power. It's also important to know how to control one's strength. After arriving at the convenience store, I began to test the changes that have occurred. In the past, transporting goods required multiple trips to complete. Now, I clearly feel much more relaxed. In the past, when working for several hours in a row, my shoulders would become sore. Now, The recovery process is much faster. These changes are not exaggerated at all. It is enough to prove that this ability is indeed changing me. During the lunch break, Noah Baker came to the store. He is a friend I have known for many years. This guy's most prominent feature is his strong ability to observe things carefully. He handed me the coffee and took a moment to look at me from above. Aiden, has something happened to you recently? I took the coffee. Why do you say that? Noah leaned against the counter. Your state has changed. Where has anything changed? In the past, your gaze seemed to be filled with thoughts about how to get through today. He paused for a moment at this point. Now, your eyes seem to be ready to accomplish something great. I was momentarily stunned. Noah always able to see things that others overlook. I lowered my head and took a sip of coffee. Maybe I've finally figured out some things. Like, for example, people cannot stay in one place forever. Noah smiled. This sentence sounds like what you said. He didn't continue to ask questions. This really relieved me. True friends don't necessarily need to know all your secrets. It's during your silences that I still wish to be by your side. On my way home from work in the evening, I encountered some problems. 2 strange men blocked my way. One of them had golden hair, and there was a disdainful smile on his face. Take out your wallet. If it was in the past, I might choose to endure it, because I know that conflicts never lead to good results. But now, my brain is quickly analyzing the situation before me. 2 people. It's less than a few meters away. The actions were not trained properly. Physical fitness is average. My judgment process is now much faster than it used to be. The blond man reached out and pushed something onto my shoulder. I dodged it by turning to the side. At the same time, grasped his wrists. His expression changed instantly. You. He clearly didn't expect that I could avoid him. People around me rushed over. I didn't continue with the attack. Just let go of the hand. Leave this place. My voice is very calm. 2 men looked at me, and for the first time, hesitation appeared in their eyes. After a few seconds, they turned around and left. I stood still, staring at my own hands. This time, I truly felt it. The old Aiden, who could only accept reality, is gradually disappearing. After returning home, I opened the growth interface. The new properties are ready to be utilized. I looked at it, but didn't use it immediately, because I know the real challenges have just begun. Meanwhile, in a research laboratory located far away from this city, a man stared at the data on the screen, his brows slowly furrowing in concentration. Abnormal growth fluctuations. Has the target been confirmed? The person next to them replied in a hushed voice. Confirmed. Name? The man stared at the photo on the screen. In the photo, I stand among the crowd, without any special features, but his expression became increasingly serious. Aiden Walker, an ordinary person, but his growth rate doesn't conform to any known laws at all. The room fell into silence, and I still don't know yet. From the day of awakening one's talents began. My name has now reached the attention of some people. The era that belongs to me is quietly beginning. The next day, when I woke up, I didn't rush off to work as I did in the past. I sat on the edge of the bed, looking at the transparent panel that appeared before my eyes. Name, Aiden Walker. Strength, ordinary. Speed, normal. Endurance, average. Mental state, there has been a slight improvement. Available growth attribute, 1 point. I stared at that little attribute, lost in thought. After obtaining the ability yesterday, my first emotion was excitement. After a night of reflection, I realized one thing. The greatest value of this ability isn't that it can turn me into a monster in a short time. It allowed me to embark on a growth path that no one else could replicate. Ordinary people can accumulate some experience and skills over the course of a year, and I, every day, keep moving forward. Time will become my greatest advantage. I took out my pen and paper and started to record my own changes. The speed of recovery from injuries has been improved. The speed of thinking has been improved. Observation skills have improved. The increase in strength is limited at present. It is currently not possible to determine the upper limit of the ability. After recording all these details, I didn't immediately add the new attributes to the strength metric. I choose to continue improving myself mentally. In the next second, a clear sensation spread throughout the brain. In the past, when reading documents, I often had to read the same information multiple times. Now, I can quickly grasp the key points. In the past, when faced with complex problems, it took me a long time to figure out the solutions. Now, A large amount of information is automatically organized in the mind. This change makes me even more certain. This ability doesn't simply involve strengthening the body. What it truly enhances is my potential for growth. I've changed into clothes, and now I'm ready to go to the convenience store. When I walked into the street, I realized that for the first time, I was starting to observe the world with a serious attitude. In the past, I just rushed around every day. Work, leave work, go home, living the same life over and over again. Now, I start to pay attention to everyone's movements, pay attention to the tone of their speech, pay attention to any hidden information around you. I have discovered that when a person's thinking changes, the world that they see also becomes completely different. After arriving at the convenience store, the owner, George, was sorting out the bills. When he saw me, he waved his hand to me. Aiden, come here for a moment. I walked over there. What's wrong? George placed a stack of documents on the table. There was some problems with the store last night. I have taken over the recording. What's the problem? The quantity in stock doesn't match the information provided. George rubbed his forehead. In the past, investigating such matters was very troublesome. I quickly reviewed the records. In the past, I found these things to be quite complicated. But now, a large amount of data is being processed in my eyes, with everything being arranged quickly. Ordering time, sales records, inventory changes. I quickly identified several anomalies. Here, I pointed to one of them. The arrival date and sales date of this batch of goods do not match each other. George was momentarily stunned. Are you sure? I nodded. If there are no errors in the records, it seems that someone has mixed in the data from another batch of goods. George immediately checked the system. A few minutes later, he raised his head in surprise. You're right. He looked at me. Aiden, did you study management in the past? I shook my head. No, I've just been paying more attention to these things lately. George stared at me for a while. Your changes are quite noticeable. In the past, you completed your tasks because of responsibility. Now, you should start to take the initiative in solving these problems. He paused for a moment. If you want to, you can help me manage some of the store's tasks in the future. I didn't agree right away, because I know this isn't just a simple change in job responsibilities. This is the first sign that things are starting to change in my life. I'm willing to give it a try. George nodded. Very good. After my abilities have improved, the most important thing is to take on more responsibilities. This sentence has stayed with me for a long time. After work in the evening, I didn't go home directly. I went to a nearby training center. What happened yesterday made me realize one problem. Having power doesn't mean one is truly strong. If one cannot control their own body, the greater the strength, the higher the risk. After entering the training center, I chose to take the basic test. The staff member glanced at me. Newcomers? Yes. Have you trained before? There was no systematic training. The staff members nodded their heads in agreement. Then, let's test the basic capabilities first. After hearing this, the people around them didn't pay it much attention. In their eyes, I'm just an ordinary rookie. The first test involves reaction speed. The machine is ready to start. The light spots change rapidly. I followed the instructions to complete the actions. The staff members watched the data, and their expressions gradually changed. Do you really have never trained before? I shook my head. No. He took a look at the records. Strange. A young man walked over to the side. What's so strange about it? The staff member said. His reaction time isn't as good as that of new players. That young man looked at me. He has short black hair, and his eyes are sharp. I recognized him. Kane Black. Just now, in the training area, there was a young expert who attracted a lot of attention. Kane looked at the test results. Your coordination is quite good, I said calmly. It might just be luck. Kane smiled slightly. Luck can only explain one instance at a time. A continuous and stable performance indicates that there is something special about you. I didn't answer, because I know this world is much more complex than I imagined. Kane extended his hand. Kane, Aiden. We shook hands for a moment. His palms are very strong, but he didn't try to provoke or challenge anyone. Just said it seriously. If you want to improve yourself, this is the right place for you. There are many people here who are searching for a breakthrough. I nodded. Thank you. After Kane left, I continued my training. I didn't show my full strength. Now, I need to hide. Growth can occur quickly. One's identity cannot be revealed at the same time. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, a new report was presented before Victor Harrison. The target's recent behavior has changed significantly. Workability has improved. Physical data is abnormal. Lane Cole stood by the side. Is direct contact necessary? Victor shook his head. For now, there's no need for it. Those who are truly dangerous will not reveal their full strength just because of one change. He stared at the photo on the screen. In the photo, I am testing at the training center. Observe him. I want to know just how lucky he really is. It's still a dangerous factor that is still growing. Night. I returned to the rental house. Open the growth panel. A new set of attributes has appeared. This time, I didn't use it right away, because I finally understood. True masters are not just those who possess a high growth rate. More importantly, complete your accumulation before others notice it. And what I need to do now is to become stronger. One day, another day, until one day comes. All those who once ignored me must now come to know the name Aiden Walker better. The first time I truly realized that there is a gap between myself and this world was after spending a month at the training center. In the past, I always thought that those who are strong are far away from ordinary people. Those combat champions, business geniuses, and top experts who appear in the news seem to live in a completely different world. But it was only when I actually stepped into this community that I realized what it really meant. This world is much more complex than most people realize. It seems simple to gain a little bit of attribute every day. To truly utilize it, one needs to have sufficient judgment skills. I didn't turn myself into someone who relies solely on brute force. After each training session, I always keep track of any changes in my body, by how much the strength has increased, by how much the speed has increased, by how much the reaction ability has increased. Every improvement I make is carefully recorded by me. In just 1 month, my changes have become quite noticeable. In the past, carrying goods weighing several kilograms felt like a huge burden. Now, even after training for several hours in a row, I can still maintain a stable state of performance, but I didn't show it in any way, because I know very well. Hiding is my greatest advantage right now. In the training center, many people believe that I'm a newcomer with great talent. Only a few people started to pay attention to me. Among them was Kane Black. After the training session ended, Kane sat down nearby and drank water. Aiden. I turned my head to look at him. What's wrong? Kane put the towel on his shoulder. Have you considered joining the official training assessments? I wiped the sweat from my forehead. Why do you ask that? Because your progress is too rapid. He spoke very directly. 1 month ago, during your first test, you could be considered to have a decent foundation already. Now, you have already surpassed many people who have trained for half a year. I didn't say anything. Kane continued to say, your question is quite strange. What's the problem? You have a very strong ability to adapt to different environments, but your combat experience is almost zero. These words stirred something within me. Kane watched carefully. Attribute enhancements can modify the structure of the body. However, it cannot directly provide life experiences. I can achieve much faster speeds, greater strength, more sensitive reactions, but when faced with real danger, experience still plays a crucial role. So you think I should participate in the assessment? Kane nodded. Yes. Once you are included on the official training list, you will have access to more resources. We will also encounter more true masters. I thought for a while. When? 3 days later. I nodded in agreement. I will participate. Kane laughed once. Very good. I always felt that you're not an ordinary rookie. This sentence made me stay vigilant. Kane is very strong. Moreover, their observation skills are extremely sharp. However, he did not have any malicious intentions. I can feel that way. 3 days later, the training center held a public assessment session. There were many people who participated. There are young students among them. There are professionals who have received formal training. There are also those who have already entered special fields. The person responsible for the assessment is a middle-aged man. His name is Arthur Grant. The first time I saw him, I could sense something different about him. His physique isn't particularly exaggerated at all. It even looks quite similar to ordinary people. But his gaze was extremely calm. It's a kind of calmness that comes from having experienced many things in life. Today, there are 3 assessments to be carried out. Power, speed, actual combat response. Grades don't determine everything about you, but it will determine the level of information that you will be able to access in the future. The first strength test has begun. Many people step forward one after another. Performance continues to improve. When it was my turn, not many people paid attention to me. After all, I'm just a newcomer. The machine is ready to start. I adjusted my breathing pattern. No, I didn't use all of my strength. This was something I decided in advance. I cannot allow my growth rate to be fully exposed. Testing is complete. The score is displayed on the screen. The scene was quiet for a moment. The person responsible for recording looked at the data. Not bad. It's much higher than that of ordinary trainers. There were people whispering around nearby. Who is this new person? I haven't seen it before. I didn't pay any attention to it. The second speed test. As a result, once again, the results exceeded expectations. This is the most important point, because it determines a person's ability to face danger. Testing begins. The simulated robot moves quickly. The angle of attack is constantly changing. Ordinary Novellians are very prone to getting panicked. I stood in the middle of the field. The mind quickly analyzes the information. Action trajectory. Attack direction. The best way to avoid obstacles. The next second, the body automatically responds to the situation. Successfully dodges attacks continuously. For the last time, I managed to seize the opportunity during the robot's attack and successfully counter the attack. The entire process took less than a minute. The scene was completely quiet. Arthur Grant looked at me. There was a change in his expression for the first time. Aiden. I looked at him. Yes. Have you received any special training before? I shook my head. No. Arthur stared at me. It seems like he's trying to find answers in my expression. But in the end, they didn't continue with the question. Your talent is truly unique. Keep going like this. After the evaluation period is over. I was included in the official training list. Many people have started to pay attention to me. Some people are curious. Someone is jealous. Some people also want to get closer. One of the young men approached. Aiden. I looked at him. Is there anything wrong? He smiled. Let's get to know each other. Lane Cole. When I heard this name, my heart felt a little heavy. Because of this name, I once came across it in the investigation materials related to Victor. Of course, that information comes from a place that I don't even know about. And now, this person came forward and stood in front of me. Lane extended his hand. Maybe we will meet up often in the future. I took his hand in mine. I tried to remain calm on the surface. However, my mind remains vigilant. He has extremely powerful abilities. It far exceeds the capabilities of ordinary trainees. More importantly, his gaze was too calm. It's not like an ordinary competitor. That night, I returned home. Opened the growth panel. The attribute points have appeared again. But this time, I'm not in a hurry to be promoted right now. Because of everything that happened today, I have confirmed one thing. My abilities have attracted more attention now. Training Center. Kane. Arthur. Ryan. And there's also Victor. Hiding in the shadows. A growing network is slowly approaching me. And the only thing I can do right now is, it means continuing to grow. Hurry up. Go a little faster. Because I don't know. When those who are truly powerful begin to take action. Am I now strong enough? On the third day after being added to the official training list, I truly felt that I had entered a completely different world. In the past, I always thought about things like rent, utilities, and working hours every day. Now, I am facing a group of people who possess special abilities, exceptional physical strength, and extensive combat experience. None of the people here are simple at all, especially Kane Black. His training schedule is fixed every day. 2 hours of strength training, speed training for 1 hour, 2 hours of practical training, never waste time. The first time I saw him training, I understood why he could become the key figure here. His strength isn't merely due to his natural talent, and also because of self-discipline. This reminds me of my thoughts when I first gained these abilities. Talent is simply an opportunity. What truly determines the future is how we utilize those opportunities. During this period, I continued to strive for a little improvement in my attributes every day, but I started to adjust the direction. I no longer focus solely on improving my physical condition. Instead, resources are allocated based on one's own weaknesses. If you lack strength, then strengthen your strength. If the reaction is insufficient, then the reinforcement speed will be increased. If the mental state deteriorates, then improve the mental state accordingly. A little bit every day. Seemingly insignificant. It can be accumulated over time. And the changes have already surprised me myself. A month ago, I had to consciously control my strength. Now, I can accurately control the output of my body's energy. In the past, it was easy to use too much force when handling objects. Now, I can accurately determine the amount of force being applied. This kind of control ability enables my abilities to improve in a more stable manner. In the training center, Arthur Grant, who is in charge of guiding us, often keeps an eye on me. Once, after the training session ended, he called out to me, "Aiden, come here." I walked over. Arthur handed me a bottle of water. "Do you know what your biggest problem is?" I thought about it for a while. "Lack of experience?" Arthur nodded. "Yes. Your body is growing very quickly. Your ability to learn is also very strong. But a true warrior doesn't rely solely on his physical strength." As he spoke, he pointed towards the training ground. "There are many people here, and their physical abilities are stronger than those of ordinary people. But those who truly manage to stay at the end are those who rely on their judgment." I'm listening carefully. Arthur continued to say, "Strength determines the amount of damage you can inflict. Speed determines whether you can seize opportunities. But it is the judgment that determines when you should act." These words were memorized by me, because I know Arthur isn't just teaching me techniques. He was telling me what the true essence of a strong person really is. That evening, I returned to the training center, ready to carry out additional training. But then, I found that there was already a person there, Ryan Cole. He stood next to the stage. "You're working very hard." I stopped walking. "You too," Lane laughed once. "I'm different from you." "What does that mean?" "I work hard because I know I need to become stronger." When he said these words, his eyes became cold. "You work hard because you just realize that you have the opportunity to succeed." I didn't answer, because he mentioned some of the facts correctly. Lane stepped closer. "Aiden, have you ever thought about it? If an ordinary person suddenly develops a growth rate that exceeds that of ordinary people, what will he become?" I watched him. "Why ask about this?" Lane didn't answer. I just smiled once. Just have a chat. Then, he turned around and left. After his figure disappeared, I remained standing there, in the same place. A sense of unease began to arise in my heart. What does Ryan know? At least, he isn't as simple as it seems on the surface. The second day, the training center has issued a task. All official members are required to participate in the field simulation training. The location is an abandoned industrial area. The task is very simple. Regional search completed. Search for the specified target, and return within the specified time frame. It seems to be just an ordinary training session, but once the list of participants was announced, everyone became very serious, because the person in charge of this mission it's Arthur Grant. This means, the difficulty of the task will certainly be high. On the day of departure, Kane came over to my side. "Is this your first time participating in such a mission?" I nodded. "Yes," Kane said. "Don't treat it as just a training exercise." "What does that mean?" "Because in times of real danger, there is no way to start over again." I watched him. "Have you encountered something like this before?" Kane remained silent for a second. "I've encountered them before. So, remember that. Never overestimate yourself." I nodded in agreement. After entering the industrial area, everyone acted according to the plan. I am responsible for searching the peripheral areas. At the beginning, everything was normal. But 10 minutes later, my mental attributes suddenly began to exhibit a special kind of sensitivity. There are people there, and it's not a training session for the members themselves. I stopped walking. The person next to them asked, "What's wrong?" I didn't answer immediately. Instead, focus on observing the surroundings. There are subtle changes in the air, footsteps, breathing sounds. There are also movements that occur in hidden locations. I said in a low voice, "Someone is approaching." Several people were stunned. "Are you sure?" The next second, a figure appeared from the abandoned building. "They are not members of the training group." It was a strange man. There was a cold smile on his face. "The response is quite good." Everyone on the scene immediately became alert. Arthur's voice came through the communicator. "Everyone, keep a distance. That isn't part of the training content." Hearing this sentence, my heart sank. Because I know, things have changed. The strange man was looking at us. Finally, his gaze fell upon me. "I found you." I frowned. "Who are you?" The man did not respond, just said, "Aiden Walker. Some people wonder what exactly you are." That moment, I finally decided. Those who were in the shadows began to take action, and their goal it's me. The next second, the man rushed over. It moves extremely fast. It far exceeds the capabilities of ordinary trainees. My body instinctively reacted to the situation. Sideward evasion. The punch hit me on the cheek. If it were me from a month ago, I simply cannot avoid this punch at all. But now, my body is no longer the same. I seized the opportunity to counterattack. The first encounter between the two people, the official start. But I soon realized that the opponent is not an ordinary enemy. His strength. He's stronger than anyone I've ever met. I realized it for the first time, after the attributes have been improved. A real challenge. It's only just begun. The moment that the punch hit me, I felt my entire arm go numb. The strength of the opponent far exceeded my expectations. I stepped back a few steps, staring at the man before me. His attacks consisted of no unnecessary movements at all. Every action I take seems to be the result of countless repetitions of training. This is not a level that ordinary trainers can achieve. The man looked at me, his eyes filled with a scrutinizing gaze. Not bad. It's even better than the performance described in the materials. I frowned. Have you investigated me? The man did not respond. He rushed forward again. This time, I didn't choose to confront things head on. After the mental attributes were improved, my brain could now quickly capture his movements. The shoulders are moving, shift in center of gravity, attack direction. All the details are quickly arranged in my mind. I moved one step ahead of time. The fist passed by my body, just brushing against it. I seized the opportunity and punched him on the side. But just as he was about to hit his target, he suddenly changed his movement. The body moved back quickly, as if it had predicted my attack path in advance. My heart sank. This person has more combat experience than I expected. Your body is growing very quickly, the man spoke up. But you have too little experience in fighting. I didn't respond at all, because what he said are facts. These attributes allow me to possess a stronger physique, but they couldn't actually turn me into a true battle master. True battles require experience to be encountered. Failure is necessary. One must grow up in times of danger. This was also the first time I faced someone who was truly strong. In the distance, Kane Black and the other training members have already arrived. Seeing the situation before him, Kane's expression changed. Aiden, stay back. I didn't move at all, because I know, if I retreat now, I will always remain under protection. I stared at that man. Who on earth are you? The man glanced at the people around him. Then he said, Lane Cole. I was momentarily stunned. I've heard of this name before. But the person before me is completely different from Ryan, who was at the training center. In the training center, he is calm and controlled. Now, he is like a sword drawn from its sheath. You know me? Lane asked. I've heard of it, I answered. Lane laughed once. It seems like you know quite a bit, don't you? But the more you know, the more dangerous it becomes. This sentence made me become alert. But the next second, Arthur Grant appeared between us. He moved so quickly that I didn't even have time to see him clearly. That's enough. Arthur looked at Lane. This isn't the place where you should test him. Lane stopped what he was doing. I just wanted to confirm something. What do you want to confirm? Arthur asked. Lane looked at me. To confirm whether he is indeed that special person. The air became quiet again. My heart beat slower by one beat. Special people. These words made me realize something. They know some things. Arthur gave me a glance. Then, he said to Ryan, leave. Lane didn't continue. Before he turned around and left, he looked at me. Aiden, one day, you will understand what your abilities really mean. After saying that, he disappeared into the depths of the ruins. The task is completed. Everyone returned to the training base. But no one is as relaxed as they used to be, because everyone knows that what happened today goes beyond the scope of normal training. Back in the lounge room, Kane sat down beside him. There was a long silence. Aiden, do you have any secrets that you're not telling us about? I watched him. No immediate response. Kane continued to say, I don't really want to force you into anything. Just today, that guy clearly recognized you. And, this isn't the first time he's encountered such a situation. I looked down at my hands. For the first time, I had a thought. Perhaps the abilities that I have acquired are not the only ones in the world. Perhaps there have been people like this in this world since long ago. It's just that ordinary people don't know about it. Kane, if a person suddenly has the opportunity to change themselves, what do you think he should do? Kane thought for a while. First, survive. And then, I become stronger. His answer was very simple. It made me understand many things. I returned to the rental house in the evening. I opened the growth panel. The attribute points have appeared again. This time, I didn't hesitate at all. I choose to increase the speed. In an instant, There are new changes occurring in the body. The neural responses become more acute. Muscle control becomes more precise. I stand in the room. Close your eyes. I recall the process of fighting with Lane today. Failure. It's not really that scary. The terrifying thing is not knowing why one fails. I began to analyze each of these movements. Every time there is a judgment to make. Every mistake. Until late at night. I finally understood. My advantage doesn't lie in how strong I am right now. It means that we can continue to grow every day. Just give me some time to work on it. No one can always stand in front of me. The second day, I arrived at the training center. Arthur took the initiative to contact me. Aiden, let's talk about this. I followed him to the office. Arthur opened up a document. It records some special events that have occurred. This world isn't as simple as the average person might think. He said that, many years ago, someone discovered some unusual abilities. I was looking at the information. Attribute enhancement? Arthur was silent for a moment. Similar. But your situation is very special. I stared at him. Why? Arthur looked at me. Because the growth of others is limited. And your growth doesn't have any obvious limits. At this moment, I finally understood. Why is Victor investigating me? Why is Ryan paying attention to me? Because what they're afraid of isn't the current version of Aiden Walker. It's the future version of me. One that will continue to grow over time. Arthur put away the documents. Aiden, starting from today, you need to be prepared. Because when others realize your value, the real competition will begin now. I stared out of the window. I felt it for the first time. My life has completely changed. In the past, I wanted to get rid of being ordinary. Now, I need to face a new problem. When I have the ability to change the world, how can I become the person who truly controls his own destiny? After leaving Arthur Grant's office, I didn't say a word for a long time. The content of that document kept echoing in my mind. There are people in this world who possess special abilities. They hid among the crowd. They possess powers that ordinary people cannot understand. And my abilities are different from theirs. Other people have limits to their growth. My growth continues every day. This is precisely the greatest advantage. It is also the greatest danger. I returned to the training ground, but did not start training immediately. Instead, he stood in the corner and observed the others. In the past, when I saw these people, I only thought they were very strong. Now, I will start to analyze where they have strengths. Some people possess incredible strength. Someone is moving extremely fast. Some people have extensive combat experience. Everyone has their own direction in life. I suddenly understood. The true world of true masters isn't simply a place of power competition. Everyone is searching for their own path. The training session begins in the afternoon. Arthur arranged a simulated confrontation. The rules are very simple. 2 people in one group. Use the training equipment. Within a limited time frame. Render the opponent unable to engage in combat. My opponent was a man named Oliver Stone. He is half a head taller than me. And he has a very strong physique. Many people in the training center know him. Because his characteristics are quite obvious. It has strong strength. The defense is strong. But the speed is quite average. Before the competition started, Oliver looked at me. Aiden, I heard that you have made rapid progress lately. I nodded. I'm lucky. Oliver smiled. You always say that. But no one here believes it. I didn't provide any explanations. Because explanations are meaningless. The true answer requires proof of one's capabilities. The competition begins. Oliver rushed towards me at once. His actions were very direct. There are no tricks involved. Rely entirely on physical force to exert control. If it were me who had just joined the training center, I would probably only be able to avoid such attacks. But now it's different. My body has been continuously strengthened over time. I can clearly see his movements. Fists, shoulders, steps. All details are transmitted to the brain in advance. I dodged it by turning to the side. The window of time when he is attacked simultaneously. But Oliver reacted faster than expected. He quickly adjusted his body position. Block my attack. Not bad, he said. Your reaction is very quick. The next second, his fist struck again. This time, I didn't continue to dodging anymore. Instead, we chose to face the situation head on. The forces of the 2 individuals collided together. I stepped back by half a step. Oliver, however, remained standing still. The people watching the battle around them began to discuss among themselves. He actually blocked the way. In the past, newbies simply couldn't do such things. I didn't pay attention to those sounds at all. Because I discovered a problem. My strength isn't sufficient yet. Speed and reaction time can help to bridge the gap between different individuals. But when facing real powerhouses as opponents, there are still some shortcomings. The competition continues. I began to adjust my strategy. Don't confront Oliver directly. Utilize speed, seeking opportunities. After a few minutes, I seized the moment when he was distracted. A precise control operation has been completed. The competition is over. The referee announces. Aiden wins. The training ground was quiet for a moment. Then, discussions began. Oliver stood up, without any anger. Instead, he laughed. You're very smart. I reached out and helped him stand up. Your strength is also very impressive. Oliver patted me on the shoulder. Let's train together from now on. I nodded. This competition made me realize a new problem. I grow up quite quickly, but I really want to become a top-level powerhouse. What's needed isn't just attributes. We still need partners. That night, Noah Baker called me. Aiden, I've connected now. What's wrong? His voice sounded quite serious. Recently, someone has been investigating you. My expression changed instantly. How do you know that? Noah remained silent for a few seconds. Because someone asked me about it. Why ask that? Ask about your past. My hand tightly holds the phone. Who? I don't know them, Noah said. But the questions they asked were really strange. They aren't interested in knowing whether you have committed any crimes. They are investigating the changes you've gone through. My heart sank. It seems that the people from Victor have already started to get involved in my social circle. Noah, in the future, if anyone asks about me, don't tell them anything. There was a moment of silence on the other end of the phone. Aiden, what on earth happened to you? I didn't answer immediately, because I don't know how to explain it. Tell him that I can get stronger every day. Tell him that there are hidden powers in this world. Right. Speaking these words out loud, I find it incredible even to myself. I just encountered some problems. Noah sighed. Do you know? In the past, you always felt that you could only be pushed by life. Now, you have changed a lot. But don't forget, you're not alone. These words made me silent for a long time. After hanging up the phone, I stared out of the window. For the first time, I felt the pressure. After gaining power, the problems didn't decrease at all. On the contrary, there are many more cases like that. The second day, the training center has received a special notice. All core members are required to participate in one advanced testing session. The person in charge is Arthur. The testing location is not within the training center. It is located in a closed area located outside the city limits. The last sentence of the notice reads, "This test will determine the direction of our future training efforts." When Kane saw the message, his expression became serious. Aiden, this time, it's not just any ordinary situation. I asked, do you know what it is? Kane shook his head. I'm not sure, but those who have participated before will surely progress to a higher level of training after returning. I looked at the notification. A sense of foreboding arises in my mind. This test, it might allow me to truly get close to the core of this world. On the day of departure, we have arrived at the designated location. This place seems to be an ordinary, abandoned area, but once I entered, I immediately noticed the differences. Hide the camera, special equipment. There are also many monitoring systems that go unnoticed. This isn't just an ordinary training ground. It seems more like a place where people are sorted based on their strength. Arthur stood at the entrance, looking at us. Remember, from now on, what you're facing isn't just training, it's actually a real test. The gates slowly opened. I'm going in. The next second, the system panel suddenly changed. This is the first time that has happened. It actively emitted a new prompt. Special environment detected. Hidden growth tasks have been enabled. I stopped walking. Heart rate increases. Because I know a real challenge that truly belongs to me. It started the moment the system notification appeared. I stopped in my tracks. Hide the growth tasks. This is the first time my abilities actively provide new information. In the past, it merely provided attributes every day. No explanation. There is no guidance/instructions available. Like a silent existence. But now, it has changed. I focused my attention and checked the new prompts. Special environment detection completed. Mission objective. Break through your own limits. Completion reward. Additional attribute boosts. I stared at those lines of text, and for the first time, a sense of expectation arose in my heart. Additional properties. What does this mean? This means that the advantages I have accumulated over time will continue to grow. But I wasn't tempted by any rewards to get carried away, because I know, the more important an opportunity is, the greater the risks associated with it. The gate is closed. Arthur Grant stood outside the entrance. From now on, all communications will be interrupted. You need to complete the tasks in this area. Remember one thing. The true strong ones do not grow up in safe environments. It's to find one's own direction in the unknown. After saying that, he turned around and left. Within the training area, only we who are participating in the test remain. Kane stood next to me. His expression was more serious than usual. This place is different from regular training. I looked around. Have you been here before? Kane shook his head. No, but I've heard about it before. What is being tested here isn't strength. It's a person's overall capabilities. I nodded my head in agreement. This is exactly what I need. Strength can be improved through attribute enhancement, but true abilities need to be tested in real-world situations. Task begins. Our goal is to find the markers hidden within the area. It seems simple, but as soon as I entered the area, I immediately noticed the problem. There is no clear route here. No prompts were given. Even the environmental information was deliberately hidden. The first reaction of ordinary people is to find their targets. But after my mental abilities improved, the first thing I noticed was the details. Traces on the ground, changes in the air, information remaining from the buildings. Someone passed by here, and it hasn't been a long time at all. I squatted down to take a look. Kane walked over. What have you found? Someone has arrived earlier than expected. Kane glanced at the ground. Then, he looked at me. How do you know that? I pointed at a place covered in dust. There are new signs of friction here. If it were just a natural change, it wouldn't take on this specific direction. Kane remained silent for a second. Then, he smiled. Your observation skills are getting better and better. I didn't answer, because it happened at that moment. A sense of danger suddenly emerged. My body immediately became tense. Stop. The people around me looked at me with expressions of confusion. What's wrong? I didn't provide any explanations. The next second, there was a sound of metal colliding in the distance. A dark shadow moved forward rapidly. The training robot rushed out from the abandoned building. Its speed is much faster than that of conventional training equipment. The person who is closest to me doesn't even have enough time to react at all. I moved forward in advance, seized the arm of the team member beside me, and pulled him away. The robot attack failed. A crack appeared on the ground. Everyone's expressions changed. This isn't an ordinary testing device. Someone said that. I stared at the robot. Quick analysis in the mind. It's very fast. It has strong strength. The attack mode is fixed. The weakness lies in the movement interval. In the past, when faced with such things, I could only avoid them. But now, my brain can calculate very quickly. Next attack. The next move. The next chance. The robot rushed forward again. I didn't back down. Instead, it changes its position at the moment it gets close to its target. The fist was thrown down. I capture that moment when the movement pauses. The control area has been located. A single strike to destroy everything. The robot stopped operating. The surroundings quieted down. Kane looked at me. Do you really have never received any such training before? I laughed once. No. He didn't continue to ask questions, but the look in his eyes clearly changed. After this confrontation, everyone started to see me in a new light. I'm no longer that new recruit who just joined the training center. I'm becoming a competitor in their eyes. After continuing to move forward, we have identified the first target. A special marker. But just as we were about to leave, communication devices have suddenly been restored. Arthur's voice came through. The tests have changed. Everyone, pay attention. There are unknown individuals in the area. My expression changed instantly. Unknown individuals? This shouldn't occur during testing at all. Kane clenched his fists tightly. It's them again. Right? I looked at him. Do you know? Kane shook his head. It's just a guess. Previously, someone tried to interfere with similar tests. As soon as the words were spoken, a sound came from a distant place. It seems that you've already discovered it. A man stepped out from the shadows. I have never seen his face before, but his presence made me immediately alert. Because of this feeling, it's very similar to the time I encountered Lane before. Powerful, dangerous, and the goals are clearly defined. The man was looking at us. In the end, his gaze fell upon me. Aiden Walker. Finally, we can meet again. I didn't say anything. The hands have slowly tightened together. Who are you? The man smiled. You can call me Victor Harrison. Hearing this name, My heart sank. Victor. That person who has been investigating me all this time. Finally, the official actions can be taken forward. The man continued to speak. We have no intention of doing anything harmful. I just want to confirm one thing. What extent can your abilities truly develop? I stared at him. What if I refuse? The man's smile disappeared. Then it proves it. You still don't have the qualifications to wield this power. The next second, he rushed forward towards us. The speed is so fast that ordinary people simply cannot see it clearly. I went up to greet them. For the first time, I have taken on the real enemies myself. Fists collide. The force of the impact caused my body to recoil backward. But this time, I wasn't as shocked as I was before, because I am already prepared for it. True growth. It never happens to get a little bit of strength every day. It happens when facing enemies who are stronger than oneself. We can still keep moving forward. I stared at the enemy before me. There's only one thought in my mind. I want to win. Because from today onwards, I'm no longer facing the ordinary life of the past. It's a world belonging to those who are strong. The moment the system notification appeared, I stopped in my tracks. Hide the growth tasks. This is the first time that has happened. My abilities actively provide new information. In the past, it merely provided attributes every day. No explanation. There is no guidance/instructions available, like a silent existence. But now, it has changed. I focused my attention and checked the new prompts. Special environment detection completed. Mission objective. Break through your own limits. Completion reward. Additional attribute boosts. I stared at those lines of text, and for the first time, a sense of expectation arose in my heart. Additional properties. What does this mean? This means that the advantages I have accumulated over time will continue to grow. But I wasn't tempted by any rewards to get carried away, because I know, the more important an opportunity is, the greater the risks associated with it. The gate is closed. Arthur Grant stood outside the entrance. From now on, all communications will be interrupted. You need to complete the tasks in this area. Remember one thing. The true strong ones do not grow up in safe environments. It's to find one's own direction in the unknown. After saying that, he turned around and left. Within the training area, only we who are participating in the test remain. Kane stood next to me. His expression was more serious than usual. This place is different from regular training. I looked around. Have you been here before? Kane shook his head. No, but I've heard about it before. What is being tested here isn't strength. It's a person's overall capabilities. I nodded my head in agreement. This is exactly what I need. Strength can be improved through attribute enhancement, but true abilities need to be tested in real-world situations. Task begins. Our goal is to find the markers hidden within the area. It seems simple, but as soon as I entered the area, I immediately noticed the problem. There is no clear route here. No prompts were given. Even the environmental information was deliberately hidden. The first reaction of ordinary people is to find their targets. But after my mental abilities improved, the first thing I noticed was the details. Traces on the ground, changes in the air, information remaining from the buildings. Someone passed by here, and it hasn't been a long time at all. I squatted down to take a look. Kane walked over. What have you found? Someone has arrived earlier than expected. Kane glanced at the ground. Then, he looked at me. How do you know? I pointed at a place covered in dust. There are new signs of friction here. If it were just a natural change, it wouldn't take on this specific direction. Kane remained silent for a second. Then, he smiled. Your observation skills are getting better and better. I didn't answer, because it happened at this exact moment. A sense of danger suddenly emerged. My body immediately became tense. Stop. The people around me looked at me with expressions of confusion. What's wrong? I didn't provide any explanations. The next second, there was a sound of metal colliding in the distance. A dark shadow moved forward rapidly. The training robot rushed out from the abandoned building. Its speed is much faster than that of conventional training equipment. The person who is closest to me doesn't even have enough time to react at all. I moved forward in advance, seized the arm of the team member beside me, and pulled him away. The robot attack failed. A crack appeared on the ground. Everyone's expressions changed. This isn't an ordinary testing device. Someone said that. I stared at the robot. Quick analysis in the mind. It's very fast. It has strong power. The attack mode is fixed. The weakness lies in the movement interval. In the past, when faced with such things, I could only avoid them. But now, My brain can calculate very quickly. Next attack, the next move, the next chance. The robot rushed forward again. I didn't back down. Instead, it changes its position at the moment it approaches. The fist was thrown down. I capture that moment when the movement pauses. The control area has been located. A single strike to destroy everything. The robot stopped operating. The surroundings quieted down. Kane looked at me. Do you really have never received any such training before? I laughed once. No. He didn't continue to ask questions, but the look in his eyes clearly changed. After this confrontation, everyone started to see me in a new light. I'm no longer that new recruit who just joined the training center. I'm becoming a competitor in their eyes. After continuing to move forward, we have identified the first target, a special marker. But just as we were about to leave, communication devices have suddenly been restored. Arthur's voice came through. The test has changed. Everyone, pay attention. There are unknown individuals in the area. My expression changed instantly. Unknown individuals? This shouldn't occur during testing at all. Kane clenched his fists tightly. It's them again. Right? I looked at him. Do you know? Kane shook his head. It's just a guess. Previously, someone tried to interfere with similar tests. As soon as the words were spoken, a sound came from a distant place. It seems that you've already discovered it. A man stepped out from the shadows. I have never seen his face before, but his presence made me immediately alert. Because of this feeling, it's very similar to the time I encountered Lane before. Powerful, dangerous, and the goals are clearly defined. The man was looking at us. In the end, his gaze fell upon me. Aiden Walker. Finally, we can meet again. I didn't say anything. The hands have slowly tightened together. Who are you? The man smiled. You can call me Victor Harrison. Hearing this name, my heart sank. Victor. That person who has been investigating me all this time. Finally, the official actions can be taken forward. The man continued to speak. We have no intention of doing anything harmful. I just want to confirm one thing. What extent can your abilities truly develop? I stared at him. What if I refuse? The man's smile disappeared. Then it proves it. You still don't have the qualifications to wield this power. The next second, he rushed forward towards us. The speed is so fast that ordinary people simply cannot see it clearly. I went up to greet them. For the first time, I have taken on the real enemies myself. Fists collide. The force of the impact caused my body to recoil backward. But this time, I wasn't as shocked as I was before, because I am already prepared. True growth. It never happens to gain a little strength every day. It's when facing enemies who are stronger than oneself. We can still keep moving forward. I stared at the enemy before me. There's only one thought in my mind. I want to win. Because from today onwards, I'm no longer facing the ordinary life of the past. It's a world belonging to those who are strong. Waiting for the continue command. Continue at the moment of the fist collision. I felt a sudden sharp pain in my arm. This person's strength far exceeds that of most people in the training center. I quickly stepped back and adjusted my breathing. In the past, when facing strong enemies, my first reaction was shock. Things are different now. I started the analysis. His source of power, his attack habits, his physical weaknesses. Every encounter is an opportunity to gather information. The man rushed forward again. The speed is even faster than before. I dodged him by turning to the side, while simultaneously observing his movements. His attacks are very powerful, but it's not perfect. Before each punch, his right shoulder moves forward in advance. This is a habit that has been developed over time. If it were an ordinary person, they would simply not be able to notice anything at all. But my spiritual abilities continue to improve, allowing me to observe things with much greater clarity than before. It was during his third attack. I moved one step ahead of time. His fist hit nothing. I seized the opportunity and attacked his side. This time, he didn't manage to avoid it completely. The body swayed slightly. The man stopped. The way they looked at me changed. Interesting. Your growth rate is much faster than what is recorded in the materials. I frowned. How much do you really know? The man did not respond. Just said, Aiden, you should understand. People who possess such abilities cannot remain hidden forever. I stared at him. So, what do you want to do? The man smiled. Observe. Evaluation. This will determine whether you are qualified to enter the real world. This sentence made me even more cautious, because he spoke in a very natural manner. It seems like they have long become accustomed to interacting with people who possess special abilities. In the distance, Kane and the others are getting closer. The man glanced around. We're here today. I didn't chase after them, because I know that it's pointless to try to catch up now. It seems that the opponent did not use all of their strength. His purpose in appearing here is not to defeat us. It's actually a test. To test my abilities, testing the speed at which I grow. After the man left, the scene fell into silence. Kane walked up to me. Are you okay? I moved my arms around a bit. Nothing to worry about. Kane watched as they moved away from him. That person is very strong. You know him? I asked. Kane shook his head. I've heard of people like this before. They don't belong to the usual training system. They have their own organization. I looked at him. How much do you know? Kane remained silent for a moment. Very few. Because ordinary people cannot access that level at all. This sentence makes me even more convinced. There's so much hidden in this world. And now, I have just opened a door. The tasks in the testing area were forced to pause. Arthur Grant soon arrived. His expression was much more serious than usual. Everyone, return immediately. No one objected. Because everyone knows about it. The situation has gone beyond the scope of what can be trained. After returning to the base, Arthur went to see me alone. In the office, he placed a glass of water in front of me. You performed very well today. I didn't say anything. Because I know that he didn't ask me for praise. Arthur looked at me. Do you know what kind of person Victor Harrison is? I shook my head. I only know his name. Arthur leaned against the chair. Victor isn't just an ordinary researcher. He has previously worked on several projects related to special abilities. Later, due to differences in philosophy, I decided to leave the official system. I asked, why is he paying attention to me? Arthur remained silent for a while. Because of your abilities. Is there anything special about it? Other capable individuals need to improve their abilities through training, using potions, and receiving environmental stimuli. And you? We grow naturally every day. I clenched my fists. It turns out that this is actually the reason why they really care about me. It's not because I'm currently very strong. It's because of the future. Arthur continued to say, Aiden, I want to remind you of one thing. The more special one's abilities are, the more likely they are to become a target. I watched him. Then what should I do? Arthur replied, keep growing. At the same time, learn how to protect yourself. This sentence made me understand. Avoiding it is useless. Hiding something isn't a solution that works forever. The only option available. It means becoming strong enough to handle whatever comes in front of us. After returning to the training ground, I noticed that everyone's attitude has changed. In the past, they treated me like a newcomer. Now, they are beginning to truly recognize my abilities. Oliver Stone walked over. Aiden, training together in the evening? I watched him. Why? He smiled. Because I discovered it. Training with you makes progress much faster than practicing on my own. I nodded. Yes. After joining the training, I truly experienced the power of a team for the first time. Oliver is responsible for strength training. Kane is responsible for combat skills. I am responsible for analysis and adjustment. A kind of tacit understanding began to develop among the several people involved. In the past, I always thought that becoming stronger was a lonely journey. Now I realize it. True masters also need partners. I got home in the evening. I opened the system panel. Task completed successfully. A new hint appears. Task completed. Get additional attribute rewards. Permission to conduct a special ability assessment has been obtained. I was stunned. Special ability assessment permissions? I'll try to check it out. The next second, new information appears on the panel. Object detection. Name, Kane Black. Ability trait, extreme enhancement. Growth potential, excellent. Name, Oliver Stone. Ability trait, strength enhancement. Growth potential, excellent. I stared at the panel. First time I discovered it. Its own capabilities, along with countless other unknown functions. In the past, I can only see the changes that have occurred in myself. Now, I begin to see the potential in others. What does this mean? It means the future. I can not only improve myself, it also allows us to determine who is worthy of partnering with. Just as I was about to close the panel, new information suddenly appeared. Target to be detected, Victor Harrison. Risk level, unknown. Growth potential, unknown. For the first time, the system encountered some unknown evaluations. My expression gradually became more serious, because this represents one thing. Victor, it might be even more dangerous than I imagined. And now, me. It's only in the moment when I actually face him that I can truly understand him. There's still a long way to go, but I will not stop. A little bit of attributes every day. Growth happens once a day. One day, surely, I will stand before everyone else. Let them know. The once ordinary Aiden Walker. It has become an existence that they cannot ignore. From that night on, my life completely changed. In the past, I did everything just to change myself. Now, I begin to grow in order to face the future. The points that the system allocates to the character every day still appear on time. A little bit. Just a little more. It seems insignificant. But as these points continue to accumulate, my body and mind have undergone significant changes. I no longer need to deliberately hide any changes that occur, because after passing the assessments at the training center, many people now know that my growth rate is truly exceptional, but no one knows the real reason for this. Every morning, I get up early to train: strength training, speed training, battle skills, theoretical study. My schedule has become extremely regular. After Noah Baker noticed this, he asked me with a smile, "Aiden, did you suddenly become someone else?" I watched him. "What's the difference?" Noah thought for a moment. "In the past, you always tried to figure out how to solve the problems that arose in front of you. Now, it seems that you are always preparing for even greater challenges." I laughed once. Maybe it's just because I finally know what I really want. Noah didn't continue to ask any more questions, but he started to help me actively. He used his own information sources to help me organize some information about individuals with special abilities. Although most of the information is publicly available, but these materials helped me gradually understand this world better. I see. Special ability holders aren't something that has appeared recently at all. Decades ago, people began to study the potential of the human body. Someone has achieved beyond their limits through special training. Some things change due to the conditions in special environments. Some people also possess talents similar to these, but these matters are kept hidden from the eyes of ordinary people. And me. It belongs to the most special category among them. There is no external stimulation. No medication was used as an aid. Growth happens naturally every day. This matter alone is enough to drive many people crazy. 1 month later, the training center organized a formal ranking competition. All members are welcome to participate. The higher the ranking, the more training resources available, the better. On the day the news was announced, the entire training center began to discuss this issue. Because this time, Kane Black will also be participating. The past. Kane has always been at the forefront among the younger members. Many people believe that. No one is willing to challenge him. The day of the challenge begins. The training ground was filled with a large number of members. The first match. I met a person who possesses speed-related abilities. The competition began. The opponent rushed forward in an instant. His speed is extremely fast. Ordinary people's eyes simply cannot perceive it at all. But my mental capabilities have improved significantly. Before his actions even occur, I have already determined the next step in my route. The first confrontation. I succeeded in avoiding them. Second time. I seized the opportunity to limit his movements. The competition is over. There was a brief period of silence at the scene, because many people have noticed it. My way of fighting has changed. In the past, I relied on reactions to make decisions. Now, I start to take the initiative to control the situation. Second round. Third round. Scene 4. I continued to advance throughout the process, until the very end. The person standing in front of me. It's Kane Black. The area around the training ground became quiet. Kane looked at me. Finally, we've arrived. I smiled. You've been waiting for this for a long time. Haven't you? Yes. Kane nodded. From the first time I saw you, I knew it. You will eventually end up here. The competition begins. At this moment, I haven't hidden anything. But, they didn't also release all of their strength. Kane's attacks are very stable. Every action is precisely controlled. He isn't as dangerous as Lane. He also doesn't rely on strength. Just like Oliver did. His advantages. It's comprehensive. Power, speed, skills, judgment. All of them have reached an extremely high level. It's the first time I've encountered such an opponent. During the battle, I keep learning, continuously adjusting. Kane is also changing. He discovered it. My growth rate is still increasing. Aiden, while attacking, he said, "How much do you really hide?" I didn't answer. Because of this problem. I really don't know the answer either. The last minute, the two individuals launched their attacks at the same time. Fists collide. Power generates impacts. We also retreated at the same time. The referee observed the results. Final announcement. It's a draw. The training ground was filled with discussions. No one expected it. Newcomer Aiden. I was actually able to draw with Kane. After the competition is over. Kane walked over. Stretch out your hand. You won half of the game. I took his hand in mine. What does that mean? Because you still have something hidden, he said, and I can see it. I remained silent for a moment. Kane is indeed very sharp. But then, he smiled. Don't worry. I won't ask your secrets. Everyone has their own responsibilities to handle. This statement made my appreciation of him even greater. However, it was the same night when the ranking challenge concluded. An unexpected message has arrived. An abnormal person was detected around the training center, and in the surveillance recordings, a familiar person appeared. Ryan Cole. Arthur urgently summoned all the key members. The situation has changed. Lane doesn't act alone. Behind him was Victor Harrison. Everyone in the room had a serious expression on their faces. Arthur opened a document. They are searching for something. I looked at the document. There's only one sentence on it. Complete research materials on growth talents. My heart slowly sank down. What they are looking for. It's not just ordinary information. It's information that relates to me. Arthur looked at me. Aiden, from now on, you can no longer consider yourself to be just another ordinary training member, because someone has already targeted you as their target. I nodded. I know. Real conflicts. Finally, it started. That night, I stood alone by the window. Enable the system. A new attribute point has appeared. I stared at that little light. There was no hesitation. Select to upgrade. Because I understand it. The enemies of the future. They won't give me the time to grow slowly. I want to be faster than them. Stronger. To be in a position where one can control everything from an earlier stage. And at the moment when my attributes were enhanced, a new prompt has appeared in the system. Detected changes in the host's growth stage. Activate the ability to reach the next stage. I looked at that sentence. The heartbeat gradually speeds up. Because I know. The power that truly belongs to me. It's about to be revealed soon. When the system message appeared, I first realized that my abilities were truly changing in a meaningful way. Activate the ability to reach the next stage. The direction of growth is now unlocked again. I focused my attention on reviewing the information. New information is gradually emerging. Ability name. Growth domain. Function. The host can develop their abilities more deeply through long-term accumulation. In simple terms, the former me was merely undergoing an upgrade in attributes. Now, I have begun to truly control the path of my own growth. At this moment, I finally understand. Obtaining a little bit of attributes every day is just the beginning. What is truly terrifying is, over time, I will become more and more aware of my own abilities, and others can only guess about my future. The second day, the atmosphere in the training center is significantly different. All core members have received new notifications. Victor Harrison's people have officially been included in the investigation. This means that the competition that lies in the shadows has now come to the surface. Arthur Grant has called us together. In the conference room, Kane, Oliver, and several other key members were all present. Arthur looked at the people around him. Starting from today, my training level will be upgraded. All core members need to carry out a joint mission. Oliver frowned. What is the goal? Arthur opened the documents. Investigate an abandoned research facility. My gaze fell on the information. Research facility. These words immediately reminded me of Victor. Arthur continued to say, that place used to be part of a research project related to special abilities. Later, it was closed for unknown reasons. Recently, someone re-entered the area. Kane looked at me. It has something to do with him? I didn't answer. But everyone knows the answer. Task completed on day. We took a vehicle to the edge of the city. Along the way, no one spoke. Because everyone understands it. This mission is different. In the past, training was conducted with the aim of improving one's abilities. This time, it's a real experience of encountering the hidden world. After entering the research base, I immediately noticed something was wrong. It's preserved in a very complete state here. It doesn't seem like it's been abandoned for many years. The devices on the wall, lines on the ground. There are also some experimental records that have not been cleaned up yet. Oliver looked around. It doesn't seem like anyone is using this place at all. Kane nodded. Someone has been here recently. I didn't say anything, because my mental attributes are constantly capturing information. There are still many details remaining here. Someone has moved the device. Someone has already checked the information. Some people even stay here for a long time. We continued to delve deeper into the matter, until we arrived at a closed-off laboratory. The signs on the door command everyone to stop. Research on growth-oriented abilities. I saw these words. My heart beat slower by one beat. Finally, I understand why Victor is interested in me. Because what he's looking for isn't a single person. It's a capability that has the potential to change the world. Arthur walked towards the door. Open it. The door was forced open. It contains a large amount of information. Kane flipped through one of the documents. The expression gradually changed. There are records of abilities similar to this here. I walked over. It's written in the documents. Some special individuals possess the ability to continue growing. They will continue to strengthen over time. But all of these experimental subjects ended up losing control of their situation. I stared at that sentence. Why did it get out of control? Arthur remained silent. Because they tried to skip through the process of growth. They want to use external forces to create those results. But one issue was overlooked. The greater the power, the more complex the control skills required. This sentence reminds me of my own experiences. A little bit of attributes every day. It seems to be slow. It allowed me to have enough time to adapt to the new situation. Perhaps this is precisely my strength. Suddenly, the alarm sound came through. Everyone became immediately alert. Someone has entered the base. A sound came from the communication device. Aiden. That sound. I know it very well. Ryan Cole. I walked out of the laboratory. Indeed. He stood there. This time. There were also other people around him. Lane looked at me. We finally get to meet each other in person. I watched him. You've been observing me all this time. Lane nodded. Yes. Because Victor wants to know. Where will a truly capable individual with growth potential ultimately go? I asked. So you want to control me? Lane shook his head. It's not about control. It's a partnership. I laughed once. What if I refuse? Lane remained silent. Then he said, then it proves it. You still haven't realized your own value. The next second, the battle began. This time, I didn't engage in passive defense at all, because it has gone through such a long period of growth. I no longer am the ordinary person who had to face dangers and merely avoid them. Strength improvement, speed improvement, mental improvement. There are also countless times of training and experience that have been accumulated over time. I step forward on my own initiative. Lane still moves very quickly, but I'm now able to keep up with the pace. For the first time, we are actually at the same level of discussion. The people around me kept backing away, because they discovered it. This is no longer a battle between ordinary trainers. After a few minutes, Lane stopped. His gaze was complex. You've grown too quickly. I watched him, because I keep moving forward every day. Lane remained silent. Then he said, Aiden, perhaps you really will become that person who changes the world. After saying that, he led his people away. I didn't chase after them, because I know the real enemy hasn't appeared yet. After returning to the base, I stand on the training ground, watching those people who were once out of reach of my reach. Kane walked over. What do we plan to do in the future? I thought about it for a long time. Then he said, keep growing, get stronger, until no one can decide my fate anymore. Kane smiled. This sounds very similar to your answer. Night. I returned to my room. Enable the system. A new attribute point has appeared. I watched it. I didn't rush to use it right away, because I know that true strength comes not from relying on one particular opportunity. It requires persistence every day, accumulate every day, making progress every day. Once upon a time, I only wanted to get rid of being ordinary. The current me. We have already embarked on the path of changing the world. My name is Aiden Walker, a ordinary person who was once ignored by everyone, having the ability to grow a little each day, and my story, it's only just begun.